Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Of course, one of the biggest events we're tracking from the market is the Green Bonds Investors Capital Market Operators Conference going on right about now in downtown Lagos. And the Vice President, Nigeria's acting President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, is expected to be at that particular event, where the Minister of Environment, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Power Works and Housing, as well as the Minister of the FCT, will be holding a dialogue on ensuring the sustainability of the green bonds, which the federal government plans to issue before the end of the first quarter. Also, there's going to be a number of other panels that will focus on the regulators setting the enabling environment for the green bonds, the issuer and investors talking about ensuring corporate interest in the green bonds as well. Channel's business news editor, Bosun Omofaye, is in downtown Lagos at this particular event. We'll be talking to him much later on the program again. He's already given us a curtain raiser to give us a sense of how the event is going on. Capital market operators and other international players who are players who are also there are quite excited at the prospect of this green bond. But another issue that also has continued to dominate conversation since the beginning of the week is the new Central Bank of Nigeria's FX policies on, of course, making sure that there's enough liquidity in the market. Well, Bayo Rotimi, who is the CEO and markets analyst at Quest Advisory Services, joins me now to talk about this issue. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Rotimi. So, a number of things have been said about the policy. They've talked about now there's more liquidity and easy access for school fees, medicals, and the rest of it. But let's talk a little bit to the issue of the banks having to situate outlets in about 5 of the major airports. What do you think the issues will be for these banks?
Thank you very much, Harriet. I think first things first, the policy itself, I think it is a step in the right direction. There is clearly a lot more that needs to be done. But regard to your specific question around banks situating or having outposts at the airport, quite frankly, I don't think that is necessary. Banking has evolved. All of the 23 banks we have in Nigeria have literally in excess of 5,000 branches all over the nation. Banking has gone online, it's gone mobile, so customers can transact banking businesses, a lot of their banking business, without really physically having to go into the banking halls. So my sense is that is additional cost for the banks. This is a season where banks really need to continue to cut down on costs. So if you have 23 banks opening outposts in how many international airports? 5 of the
major airports.
You understand. So the cost starts to build up. So my sense is not necessary. Their existing infrastructure is more than sufficient to ensure that their customers can access as much foreign exchange as they need.
You know, the reason why this was like an issue for most was the fact that if you have these banks opening outlets, retail outlets at 5 of the major airports, they get to compete with the Bureau de Change operators as well, who already have outlets at most of the airports anyways. So it was almost like a situation of trying to muzzle the BDCs out of this part of the market.
Indeed. Beyond that, there is also the added complication of the multiplicity of exchange rates. So the BDCs are supposed to sell at 399. So you now have a situation where individuals that want PTA, that want to pay for school fees and all of that can actually buy at 366. So yet again, we're back to this issue of multiple exchange rates. In my view, it is inefficient. In my view, it is engendering round-tripping and corruption.
Not making it a more competitive market?
Not at all. You know, if you want fair competition, you know, competition and pricing is driven by information. It is driven by the forces of demand and supply. You know, so, but when you have an official, rather, you have 5 different official exchange rates, and then you have 1 black market rate. So 6 different rates in the market, right? All you are doing is encouraging people to take money from the official sources and sell them in the parallel market for a nice tidy spread that was as high as 215 naira as at Monday. So the temptation is way too high. So my sense is government needs to collapse the exchange rates, allow the markets to largely determine the rates, because pricing is a function of demand and supply.
But for you, Mr. Rotimi, what do you think the markets want right now?
What the market wants is consistency. What the market wants is conviction on the part of the CBN. The CBN must come out and tell us categorically, this is where we are. We all know we have a supply challenge. The reason why the Naira has taken this amount of beating is simply because there is not enough supply of foreign exchange or foreign currency coming into the market. So the CBN should avoid policies and statements and positions that worsen an already bad case. The focus right now should be on what are the things to do to enhance the supply, the inflow of foreign exchange into Nigeria.
Wouldn't you agree that the first step to ensuring this will happen is this new policy that came out on Monday?
Well, Harriet, I started off by saying it was a good step or a step in the right direction. But, you know, for economic actors and players in an economy, what they are looking to see is consistency. What we have seen in the last 1.5 years has been total inconsistency. You know, the last policy told banks, CBN directed banks, 60% of your allocation should go towards the manufacturing sector. A few months later, by this Monday's pronouncement, that particular situation has been reversed. Prior to that, we had 41 items banned from accessing official dollars, right? A lot of noise and a lot of agitation was made around that. The CBN says, the government says, yes, we think this was a wrong move. Has it been reversed? So what we really need, Harriet, is consistency. Come out with a clear policy. The truth is this, via policy instruments, you cannot solve all of the problems. So take a step back, identify the issues, and then try to fashion out a policy that will solve majority of the problems and stick to it. The consistency of sticking to it. You see, look, we've been on this issue of let Naira find its level. Last year we did a 50% devaluation after a lot of arm twisting, but CBN still held on to the levers and the controls. On Monday now, we've effectively done a 20% devaluation for a particular segment of the buyers of foreign exchange. So it is creating confusion. Yes, it is a movement in the general direction that clearly the Naira is overvalued. And that's what the markets have been responding to. So you will see parallel market rates have started to crash, you know, because CBN has said, for a significant part of my market, I'm going to devalue the Naira from 305 to 366. So the response has been on account of the devaluation and the feeling that generally and gradually the CBN is moving to that market-determined rate. But we need to do it once and for all instead of piecemeal.
Most have actually argued with the fact that, the banks will probably at this time not be able to manage this situation very properly. And so you might begin to see speculative trading and a lot of round tripping. Do you agree?
Well, that is already in play. CBN has just added layer number 5. Before Monday, there were 4 different rates plus the parallel rate, that is 5. Right now, we've created an extra rate, so we now have 6 different rates. My view, that is what is driving the distortion, that is what will continue to drive round tripping, and that is what will continue to drive corruption in the system. So we need to go back, collapse the rates, come out with a clear and deliberate policy, and do your best as government to support the supply, increase in supply. And I think that really is the critical things. What are the things we need to do to drive supply? How do we ensure